There we go. Hey everybody, it's Margaret, and I am interviewing Jason today. Say hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. So yeah, for everybody who doesn't know who you are, why don't you tell them who you are?
Well, I was born in an oil field in Dubai. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, God, who would know who I am by now? I talk so much about myself. Jeez. Um, so I was born in outside of Cleveland, Ohio, to two wonderful parents, and I started my thrifting career at 6, but I really got into it at age 10, and been thrifting my whole life and reselling online since 2000. And because my mom drugged me to a flea market when I was 6, that led me to get my own TV show. That led us to being friends. And that's the truncated version of my life. There it is. Boom.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you agreed to come and do a chat with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Um, no, I just spaced. So.
Well, I love you. And I've run Facebook groups for a long time now. My current one being the Thrifting board, and I never have any problem with anyone sharing what they do. But I don't want anyone ever to come in and just be like, "Ooh, I see this large group. I'm just going to capitalize on that. Someone else's hard work." And so I've always loved you because of your quirky attitude and your fun, and you love to help people too. And it's as long as you help, I don't mind. Like, you got a blog, you got a YouTube show, absolutely throw it up there. But if you're just coming because you're like, ooh, big numbers, that ain't gonna cut it. So you were one of the early ones for the new group that I was like, oh yeah, put your stuff up. I love you. You're fun.
Oh, thanks. And I appreciate it. I do.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I always get nice response from everybody, so I'm happy. I'm happy about that. So, yeah, we have the group, the International League of Thrifters. We're pushing 2,000. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm excited that everybody's super friendly over there, and I mean they're great in your group too. I'm not saying they're not. Just
Whatever. I heard a little. No, just kidding.
this is turning into an arm wrestling contest.
Let's do this. Come on now, brother. Bring
I have a feeling you'd win.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if you let me pop myself on my screen so I can see. So I don't know if you've ever seen the hole in my arm. See it right there?
Oh yeah.
So I had a crazy infection, and I lost use of my arm for a year, and I am right-handed. So, and it's been like 9 years now, but my strength never came back like it was before the infection. So, I'm sure there's a good amount of girls that could kick my butt in an arm wrestling contest because I just don't have that strength anymore.
So I have a fighting chance.
Yeah, you do. Plus,
Right.
and it's still sensitive, so if you poke me in it first, you might win.
I do play dirty, so. I promise. All right, it's on. Next time I see you, well, next time I see you in person, when I
Yes.
see you in person, it's on. No. Okay. Let me jump into the questions. Oh wait, maybe I should say hey. I like to say hey to people in the chat because I just do. I see. Hey, Cherie. I think I'm saying your name right. Hello, Nellie and Lori and Barbara. I hope you're feeling well. And Joni and Chantel and Catherine and Peace and Rope and Reseller. Okay, yay. Thanks for the love on the Tiki umbrella. If you've watched my Periscope right before this, you will have seen my disaster. So there were disasters. Okay, I'm going to jump into the questions. And if you guys in the chat have questions, just throw them up there and we may get to them. We'll see. All right, so here we go, Jason. I may go in order and I may jump around, so we'll see how serious things get. How did we meet?
Wow, I have lost all. You were just gone for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and now your voice is way behind. I think it's my end. My Wi-Fi has been acting up lately, so. Oh, I heard you start to talk, and then I just saw you laughing. That's all I saw.
I'll try. Can you see me now?
Oh, yeah, I see you. You just froze. Like, you started to talk, you froze, and then it was just you laughing. It was so awesome.
Are you sure you didn't drop some acid this morning?
No, I did not drop some acid this morning.
Okay. Okay, the question was, how did we meet?
I think we met in some dark corner of Facebook or even the dark net. Did we meet in the dark net, exchanging some Adderall or something? No, I mean, it's, especially with the way social media is nowadays, when you ask a question like that, you're like, geez, how did we meet? Because it just kind of, it happens. It isn't like the old days where you would meet someone in person, and you're like, oh, yeah, I met them at the corner of, Main and Elm Street, but you and I just, it seems like we've been friends forever, but we've not been friends that long. So I don't know exactly where we bumped into each other, but, it was definitely through the Facebook groups, and, but, I think I have this kinship to you where it feels like we've been friends forever.
Aw, that's nice. Well, I know I felt like I've known you for a long time before, too, because before I started looking for YouTube videos and Facebook groups, I was just, like, at home taking pictures of stuff, watching, like, American Pickers and Storage Wars, and watching your show, Thrifting with the Boys. Now, what was it called?
Thrift Hunters.
I knew it. It would come to me. And so then I was just like, when I started seeing your videos and stuff online, and like, oh, hey, it's the dude, not the dude, but
The dude abides.
Yeah, exactly.
Now there's a movie I don't get.
No?
I do not understand the love for that movie. I saw it and I was like, meh, it's all right. But the way that people go about that movie, I'm just like, I don't get it.
It's a way Homer. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll move on. All right. So the next question was, what is the strangest or funniest reseller story you have? It doesn't have to be yours. It can be one that you've heard.
Well, actually, it is mine, and I hired my first assistant many years ago, and she was a sister of a friend, and I was starting to look. I'm like, I think to take my business to the next level, I need somebody to help me. And so my friend said, hey, my sister was looking for a job, and she was about 26 or 27 at the time. So I met her. I liked her. I hired her. And she was such a girly girl. She would come work in this office, which is just a spare bedroom in my house, in heels and a skirt. I'm like, where do you think you're working? Like, I'm in a tank top and shorts, the same pair I've been wearing for a week. And she's like, oh, I'm breaking some new heels in. And she's working on carpeting. So she was always this girly girl. And one day we decided to go to an estate sale. I saw an estate sale that had some cool Tiki stuff, and I wanted to get. And I wanted to. I was going to flip some lights, buy them, fix them up, and flip them. And so I looked at the pictures in the Craigslist ad, and I can envision the house. I'm like, oh, okay. There's these couple lights out by the pool, and I can tell these other lights are in the garage. And so she said, yeah, I'll go with you. And she was a little naive to the world and to just things in general. Like, she didn't know who Snap, Crackle, and Pop were. I had Rice Krispies t-shirt, and she goes, who's this? I go, did you grow up in a cave? What? We weren't allowed sugar cereals. I'm like, and I would call her brother and go, who's Snap, Crackle, and Pop? And he would go, the Rice Krispie guys. And I go, what happened to your sister? Like, I just don't understand. So we decided to meet for breakfast before the estate sale. So I think we met at like 6:30 down on Las Vegas Boulevard. And what happens for early morning breakfast on Las Vegas Boulevard, the place is filled with two kinds of people. People who are still out from the night before partying, and working girls coming home, if you catch my drift on working girls.
Yeah, I do.
And so she got there before me, and she saw all the working girls, and she was like, where are you taking me? Now, she'd never been in this restaurant. It's called the Pepper Mill. It's a normal restaurant on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's been there forever. But she was just shocked. I don't know if she'd ever seen a hooker before, but she lived in Vegas. I guess she never saw that many all at once having a meal. So, but the funny thing was, in her typical fashion, when we're going to a estate sale, I don't know if she's ever been to one, but a lot of times they're dingy, they're dirty, you're digging through the garage. Mm-hmm. She's in a dress and heels. And I'm like, we're going to an estate sale. So anyway, we get there, we're in line. I can see how the house is set up. I'm like, all right, like a military operation. You're going to go straight through the door. I bet you there's going to be off to the left, the door to the backyard. I need these lamps. I'm taking a hard right. I'm going to the garage. I need these lamps. So we go through the doors. She follows my instructions. I go to the garage. I get the lights in the garage. She just missed the lights out by the pool within a second. So she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, no, it's cool. So we bought the lamps and we walked outside to put them in the car. But I wasn't done shopping. I just wanted to get those lamps out of there because they're fragile. They're old school. And I'm like, shit, now we gotta wait in line. And the line was like 50 people long, and she notices, now, keep in mind, dress in heels, she notices the garage door is open this much. She goes, we could roll under the garage door. And I go, what? She goes, yeah, I'll do that. So we stopped, dropped, and rolled and popped up in the garage, and there was people shopping in there, and they're all like, where'd you guys just come from? Because it wasn't open. It was kind of like Indiana Jones, like, you know, and then he grabbed his hat real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm so glad I did that, because when I popped up, like, people saw me, so I tried to make it funny. I kind of jumped up. I went, ha, I'm here. And when I jumped, I saw something on a top shelf that no one else had seen, including the people running these. Am I freezing?
Just for a second, you did.
Okay. So I saw something on a top shelf that no one had seen, including the people running the estate sale. So here's what I saw because of all these shenanigans. This is Primo Beer, is a beer from Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
And this is a map, topographical map of the Hawaiian Islands. And that was sitting flat on a shelf way up high. And when I jumped, I could see the tippy top of the island sticking up, and I knew instantly what it was. I'd never seen one in person, but I'd seen them. And I ran to the front, and I go, how much is this? And he said, oh, where'd you find that? I'm like, oh, in the garage. And he said, $40. I'm like, sweet. If you look these up on eBay, they sell anywhere from $500 to $700.
Whoa. Was that a keeper, or did you sell it?
So that was a keeper. The lamps are going to be sellers because I don't need any lamps, but they do need to be rewired. So
wait,
the
you still have them?
Yeah, they're in the garage in my to-do pile.
Wait, this is from when you first had your first helper?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's my wife. Okay, I want to turn off my screen sharing. How come I can't do that? All right, well.
Wonder if it's, do I have to do it?
No, it's me, but I don't know. Oh, there we go. Phew. All right.
Yay.
It looks a little different when you're a guest and not the host.
I have the power.
Yeah, so the lamps with a little work, probably about $50 worth of materials. Each lamp will be worth probably $150, and I paid, I think, $25 each for the lamps.
Cool.
But you know, the moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover. A pretty girl in a dress and heels will stop, drop, and roll into a garage. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I had a friend like that we wondered, like, what happened to your childhood? Like, where did you grow up? Because we would, like, just, references, like, make these, like, do, like, things like that. And she's like, why do you guys keep doing that? What does that mean? Like, Twilight Zone. She's like, no, never heard of it.
Yeah, well, she was listening to Beach Boys had for me one day, and I'm like, you know who the Beach Boys are? She goes, yeah, duh, they sing Hotel California. And I'm like, oh. My brain hurts.
Oh, my gosh. that was fun. Yeah, that No, good story.
And I love her to death. We're so good friends. It was just always amazing what she did or didn't know.
I was glad that she rolled under the garage door, though.
Yeah. She found, I have thousands of artifacts in my house, Tiki and otherwise, and because of that, we found one of the coolest things, probably top 10 in my whole house.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, here we go. Next question. Ready?
Yep.
All right, what do you pick up that just never brings any money? Like, you can't help it. You just always pick it up.
Nothing, because I know what I'm doing. Duh.
I know.
That's what my wife said to say. But I still have an affinity to pick up coffee mugs that end up being duds. So I think coffee mugs is my weakness. Because I get excited, they're cool looking, and then I get home and I'm like, boo.
Yeah. But usually it's not that much. It's not like...
No, yeah, they don't cost a lot. I just happen to have, you can't see them, but there's a whole shelf full over here.
Yeah, I'm like that with certain things too. Okay. So what all platforms do you sell on, and what are your favorite ones and what are your least favorite ones?
Consistently eBay, Amazon, and then a smidge of Bonanza. I've done a little Craigslist. I've got some stuff on OfferUp. I'd love to get into Etsy. That just time never permits. I love eBay and Amazon pretty equally. I don't dislike any. I'll tell you what I dislike. I used to sell a ton. I used to make a lot of money back in the early days on half.com, which was a great site to sell media on. And this was pre-Amazon, so they could have been the Amazon. But eBay bought it and then ruined it. So I finally abandoned it about 4 or 5 years ago. It's still there, but they screwed it up. They bought it, and then they brought it inside of eBay, and then people were like, where to go? And then they pushed it back out of eBay, and then by that point they kind of lost the customer base, and it just wasn't worth it. But I used to sell a ton of stuff on there, like 300 to 500 CDs a month.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Leslie's asking, what's your worst experience at a garage sale?
Well, there's this crazy lady who lives down the street who has a garage sale, and I was there once, and she has signs all over her garage sale. This is fine quality today, of all days. Of all.
I know you're chopping.
Am I back? Yeah, there we go.
You're back. You're back.
This lady has this garage sale, and she has signs all over that say, "This is fine quality clothing. Don't ask for a deal."
Oh.
And so we go to film episode 1 of Thrift Hunters, and the crew had booked us to shop at a garage sale, and they just picked it because it was near my house. As we pulled up, I didn't realize it was her until I'm like, oh no, not this garage sale. It'll be good visuals, but she's nutty. She's absolutely nutty. Like, she thinks her shit don't stink, and she's gonna charge top dollar for her used tops. You know, her used blouses.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I went to one like that just a few weekends ago where it was these 3 ladies, and this one lady, every time someone asked her, her pitch would get louder. The price is marked. The price is marked. You know, like when people would, and I was just like so tempted just because and I'm surprised people kept asking her. And then I was really tempted just to go like 50 cents, you know, but I didn't. So.
I mean, the whole point of a garage sale is to haggle and have fun.
I know, they were firm on their prices. Oh, look, Chad's here. Hey, Chad.
Hey,
He's
Chad.
watching from the car. Texas, here we come. Yay! Hey, guys. Okay. So Rich says, this has probably been asked a lot, but he wants to know how long it took you to sell full-time, and how did you go about doing it?
Well, the hole in my arm I referenced earlier, I got while working at another job I was miserable at, and so that hole was the final straw. And my wife kept telling me, just go back to eBay full time, and that was about 9 years ago. And the first month after I quit the job I was working, I just sat in this chair in my underwear and a tank top, and I made just as much money. Actually, I made a little bit more money full time on eBay than I did at a job that was physically backbreaking. So I'm like, what the hell have I been doing? I've always been selling part time, but never full time. So I just ramped up. You know, I just thrifted more, acquired more, sold more, got an assistant. So that's how I ramped up to full time. And I'm lucky that I've been assistant less for a couple of months. I just hired a new one. So she started last week, and she's awesome. So I can't wait for her to get into work today.
I love your enthusiasm there.
Oh, she's great. Well, I had 2 bad ones.
Oh, okay.
One I hired didn't show up on day 2 and said she can't do the stairs, and because I work on the 2nd floor, and she's not 80, she was like 29. And then the second one I hired, I shouldn't have had her come back on day 2. That's how bad it was. And like, I'll try and work it out. And boy, day 2 was worse. So I thanked her for her time and said, you don't have to come back anymore.
Oh, wow. See, is that hard firing people? That would be tough for me.
It is, but it's also that realization of, okay, this ain't working. It's going to cost me more money to train you even longer. I mean, just she wasn't grasping computers and eBay, and even though, I mean, things she said to me in the interview made me think she would, but it didn't happen. And then the new girl I hired, she jumped right in, and I see her doing shortcuts, and I see her plugging in formulas in my spreadsheets. I'm like, oh, you're awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to jump down to some different questions now. So since you talked about your arm, this may or may not be the answer that you give for this, so I don't know. So have you had any near-death experiences?
Well, this one kind of, the doc said, had they waited one more day to operate, I would have lost a good chunk of my arm. I might have died eventually. But I've had 3 actual at that moment almost died experiences. The first one when I was 4 or 5, I was swimming at a friend's pond, like the whole afternoon picnic, and I was out in the dock, climbing up the dock in my inner tube, and I slipped out of my inner tube. And it's one of my earliest memories. All I remember is the water all around me and me sinking to the bottom. And luckily, one of my friend's daughters, who was a teenager at the time, saw me and reached down and grabbed me and pulled me up and plopped me on the deck, on the dock. And my mom and dad insisted that never happened. And one day we were talking to those friends. They're like, "Oh yeah, that happened." So I'm like, "Hey, mom and dad, why would you pay attention to your 4-year-old in an inner tube? Come on now."
Yeah, really?
Just kidding, mommy. But one time, I grew up in the snow, and so you got to get the snow off your roof because too much weight will bring your roof in. And I was on the roof knocking all the giant, and we're talking like 6-footer icicles off the roof. And so now they're on the ground pointing up, and I slid off the roof. And I had like 1 split second to see the ice coming and turn away from it. So pretty much that was going to impale me.
Oh my gosh.
And then Stacy and I, my wife, and we were just early married. We were living in our first house, coming home from the movies. We hit some black ice on a bridge with a very far drop, and our car started spinning, and I couldn't stop it. We were the only ones on the bridge, luckily, but we were heading to the point where the bridge ended, and you would still go down the ravine, and we were both sure we were dead right at that moment. And right the last second, the car grabbed the road, and we moved just enough away that we didn't go down the embankment. So those are my 3 near-death experiences.
Wow, you've cheated death 3 times. Usually that's it. Like, it's the rule of 3s, right? But well, good. I'm glad. Okay, so going in that same vein, have you had any ghost experiences, or do you believe in?
Yeah, actually, I do believe in ghosts. We think we have one in our current house. We call him Ernie. But because we'll be sitting downstairs and we'll hear walking going around upstairs. So it doesn't bother us at all. But my best ghost experience was we were in Key West with another couple when we were staying at a bed and breakfast. So Stacy and I and this other couple were in the same room. It was a big old front room of an old house in Key West in Old Town. And we had a lanai, and we were on the second floor looking over the street. And one of the first nights we were there, we're sitting out there just chilling, having a drink before heading out for the night. And a ghost walking tour is coming by, and it stops right in front of our house. And they can't see us because there's a giant palm tree that we're kind of sitting behind. And the guy tells a story of this guy who left Cuba back in the 30s, left his wife and kids in Cuba, came to Key West, got a new wife and kids.
Okay, good. You're freezing. Are you good?
I'm waiting.
I think you're good.
All right.
You're getting to the good part of the story.
I know. So he comes to Key West. He gets a new wife and kids. Somehow wifey in Cuba finds out, comes over, kills him, the new wife. Oh. I'm going to kill my internet today. I'd break if I could. So the old wife kills the new wife, the new kids, and the husband. And we're in the room that was the baby's room. So the guy tells his whole story how the mother still comes in that room and checks the kid. And so that night I go to bed, and our bed butted up to the wall, and the door was next to it. But what we heard was where our bed was used to be the door. And so at 3 a.m., a door behind my head opened and closed. Now, there was no door there, and I didn't say anything the next morning at breakfast because I'm thinking maybe I just dreamt it. So we're eating breakfast, and my wife goes, "Did anyone feel the door open and close about 3 a.m. last night behind our heads?" I'm like, yes! Yes! So that was our real ghost experience. Now, to add to the little fun to it, the next night we had come off a catamaran where you got to drink all the way back from snorkeling, and we were super drunk, and here comes the ghost tour again, and I grabbed my buddy Dave. I go, "Hey, I got an idea." We walked into our room, pulled the sheets off the bed, put the sheets over us, hid behind the palm tree, and when the tour came and he got halfway through the story, we started shaking the palm frond like, "Woo!" And we walked out in our sheets. But, to drunk people, something's funnier way longer than it is. We didn't stop doing that. The first 10 seconds, everyone laughed. It was funny. And then we went on for like 3 minutes.
Oh, gosh, okay. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. I haven't looked at the chat in a long time. Good stories, good stories. I like it. Hi, Nadine. Nadine's in the chat.
Oh, and the added bonus to that story, when I booked the bed and breakfast, I booked it because it said no children, but I missed the next line, which said clothing optional. So when we checked in and they gave us a little tour of the bed and breakfast, there was 40-somethings in the, and we were early 30-somethings at this point, in the hot tub all naked at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And my two friends and my wife looked at me and went, I missed that part. Not that it bothered me, but I saw no children allowed, and I'm like, booking this place.
Oh my gosh. Well, we went to stay. My husband and I went to the Driscoll in Austin, which is kind of like in the near 6th Street, and I didn't know that this was a haunted. You know, they had haunted things. They even have a haunted tour that goes through, and so I just booked it because it was close to everything, and it was nice. It was cool, and I went up to pay, and then I heard somebody talking about a ghost tour, and I was like, what is this I'm hearing about the ghost tours? Are ghosts I need to know about? And he's like, oh, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, the ghost's on the 4th floor. here's your key. You're on the 4th floor. Like, what? Yeah, so I don't know if it was that kept me up all night or people like tromping up and down the hall looking for the ghosts. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to reselling questions. Okay, here's one. What are some resources that you use all the time?
So you mean out in the field or in the office, or did you have a specific?
Nah, just whatever.
So in the field, I always have my smartphone. I'm always on eBay completeds, eBay solds. Don't go to completeds, go to solds. I use WorthPoint a little bit in the field, and then when I'm really stumped, I use my Facebook group. You know, I'll find something vintage, and I will have just got to the end of my rope where I'm like, I don't even know what to look for anymore, but it could be cool. And I found this cool, like, what I thought was a mahjong set, and it was something a little different. And to me, it looked like a winner, but I didn't know what to look up. So when I put in the group, somebody who knew exactly what it was explained what it was, and the going rate for that set was not enough profit to buy it. So, you know, and I don't use the group all the time, but it is so awesome to have 12,000 people all in one place who have all these variety of knowledges, and it's great, man, to pop something in and then, you know, to throw in your cart, because if you leave it on the shelf, it'll be gone when you get back for sure. Throw in your cart, wait 5 minutes, look at the responses, then you'll know if you need it or not. So that's one of my favorite tools besides eBay solds.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's been one of my favorite things about, you know, starting the YouTube channel and getting to know all these people. So when I have questions about stuff, I'm like, oh, I know, I can go ask so-and-so about this, or I'll have something in my video like, I don't even know, you know, and then people will leave comments, oh, I think it's this, you know.
Well, plus you start to get to know, too, the people's specialties. Like, everyone knows they can come to me with Tiki questions. If I happen to find something Selena, I would go to Chad for sure. You know, and like Bridget in my group, she's like Miss Disney, so I can go to her when I find some stuff. You know, I found a Disney character that was so fringe, I didn't even know what it was, and it even took her a few seconds to figure out. So, you know, if you hang around enough, you start to get to know the people who know the specifics. You can go right to them for help when you're in the field.
Yeah. Oh, is that your mom?
That's my mommy.
Okay. Who or what led to your success?
Well, it's a four-pronged, and I apologize for my crappy connection today. It's a four-pronged answer. So first and foremost is my parents. I started working when I was well, I had my first job when I was 10, but I think I had my paper out even before that. So I've been working my whole life, and although my parents pretty much, you know, I did not grow up rich, but you know, if we wanted to Atari 2600.
It's okay. It's okay. It's cool.
Yep. My parents always got us, you know, if we wanted Atari 2600 for Christmas, they'd get it for us. But we were not rich by any means, just that they always took care of their kids. But I always worked. I worked since I was 10, and they kind of instilled that work ethic into me. And then this will be an odd answer, and I'll explain why. John Shahinian owned a chain of record stores in Cleveland, Detroit, and Pittsburgh that I worked for. And I busted my ass working in all 3 states. I was often gone for a week at a time, traveling between the 3 states. And one day I get back from a week where I spent a week in all 3 areas, and I got fired. and it was the reason made no sense. I think I worked myself out of a job, so they figured out a way just to say goodbye. And I fully understood what depression was at that point because I loved the job. Plus, wasn't sure we were going to pay our bills. But had I not been fired when Stacy got the job, this was in March of 2000. When Stacy got the job opportunity to go to Long Beach, California, LA, in September, we probably wouldn't have taken it because I loved the job. I loved growing up in Cleveland. I do not miss it now, but had he not fired me, I wouldn't have been in Vegas. You and I wouldn't be friends. I wouldn't have had a TV show. So, hey, John, if you ever see this, thanks for firing me.
Yeah, right?
And then currently it's a combo of John Lawson and Chris Green. You know, I watch, we go to events together, we speak at events together, and I can watch John Lawson do the same speech 10 times and get something out of it each time and laugh at the same spot each time. And so always makes me want to be a better speaker, a better teacher, and they're always hustling. I hustle, but they hustle. So it always inspires me to do more.
Right? Isn't it awesome when you start realizing like you're making those not just connections but like friendships and you know, I have a group of friends that from the reselling community that I never would have met because of, you know, if it hadn't been for this, and we have a chat going all day every day basically, you know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, we pop in reseller questions but also like just random, you know. So it's just been great. Yeah. That was that. I don't even know if that was on topic. Who knows? But I mean, I felt like, okay, yeah, that's cool. You met some like kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Know? Exactly.
But, you know, everything happens for a reason. I don't get fired. All this doesn't happen. I love my life where it is right now. So those moments when I got fired sucked, but I'm glad I did.
Okay, here we go. Okay, if you could sing one song on American Idol, what song would you sing?
So this is we were talking about before we went on the air. This is where I'm going deep cuts. It's an Iron Maiden song that wasn't even a single, but it just happens to be one of my favorite songs because I can air drum to it and I sing to the top of my lungs. It's called Revelations. It's off. So you later, when you're not watching Margaret and I, go check out Revelations off the Peace of Mind album. You can find it on YouTube. But a more current answer that everyone know, I would do Spice Girls, Spice Up Your Life. But Revelations, when my wife, and she's a Maiden fan, and it's not a big song because they don't ever play it in concert. And she goes, "What song?" And then I started to play it. She goes, "Oh, your air drum song." I go, "Yeah, that's it."
Cool, that's cool. And then if you could karaoke one song with me, what song would you want to do karaoke with?
I don't do karaoke.
Oh, fine.
Here's why. Here's how bad my singing voice is. 7th grade, we were doing a musical production of Rumpelstiltskin, and I was in the town people and chorus. And after the first rehearsal, and the townspeople was like 10 or 12 kids, so we just sang songs as a chorus, obviously. At the end of the first rehearsal, in front of everyone, the teacher said, "Smith," and I said, "Yes." She said, "Can you just mouth the words from now on?"
No.
Yeah, that's how bad I am. Now, if you get me drunk enough, I might pop up and do Grease with you.
Grease? Okay.
Yeah.
I've only done karaoke once, so it's not like I get more embarrassed in front of, like, I can do this easy, but like when I'm with real live people, I'm a little less. But yeah, probably if I had a glass of wine in me, I could. I could do it. Okay. Somebody had a question in the chat. Let me go back and see what it was. What is the average time it takes you to photograph and complete a listing?
You know, people always ask me that, but I never work straight through, so I don't know. I never had an answer. Because, you know, I'll go photograph for hours, and then I'll sit down and list for hours, so nothing ever goes straight through. And now with an assistant, like she'll go off to the photography room and just photograph for a whole day, 4 or 5 hours. And the next day she'll start listing, and then in between we're shipping. So it never, you know, you never do just, but on those rare times when I'm doing like a CD real quick, you know, this is just a front and back. I can do a listing on mobile in about I don't know, in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I do the same. Like I just take a bunch of pictures. But I guess if I had to, it would be 5 minutes, depending on the thing. If I have to research it or something like that, then it's a different story.
You know, a T-shirt has a front and the back for the most part, so there's not a lot to it. But if I'm selling a chandelier, yeah, I'm gonna need all 12 pictures. I'm gonna need it on. I'm gonna need it off. You know, so it definitely depends on your item. But to save time, don't ever just list an item one at a time. Take all your pictures at once, and then when you do your listings, say you're doing T-shirts, just to save time, do all the black T-shirts in a row because that way it's one less thing you got to change every time. Then you get to your whites and get to your blues.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay. What was the last gift that you gave someone?
My friend Robin, her birthday was 2 weeks ago, so I had been collecting some Tiki goodness from around the country. Tiki mug from New York City, Tiki mug from Orlando, some stuff from here. So she just got into the Tiki scene, so I sent her a whole little Tiki gift pack.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, okay. We're running short on. I know we still have 20 minutes or 25 minutes, but I have a lot more questions. And people have questions for you too. Darn it. Okay. Okay, so somebody in the, not somebody, I hated that. Okay, Rope and Reseller asks, with no 401k plan from an employer, what are your plans for retirement, or do you just plan on selling on eBay forever?
Well, you think I don't have a 401k plan from an employer, but I married well, so I do have a 401k plan. It's called her 401k plan, and it's very robust. So one of the best things about being a reseller, if you marry well, that someone has a career, man, you can do this as long as you want. But I will always end up selling because our retirement plans include a little roadside stand in the Keys selling found treasures around the Keys. So there will always be picking going on. But, yeah, I mean, if you're doing it and this is your sole job and you're not married, you're definitely going to have to be diligent in putting your money away for retirement because you don't want to get to retirement and be like, ah!
Yeah,
But
for sure.
luckily, I married a financial stockbroker, and she takes care of all that. So I just watch it grow, and I know, ooh, our roadside stand will be really nice because we have a nice retirement.
No, it's true. I mean, I have some, like, I don't know how it's going to work for teacher retirement, but, you know, when I was working, I was still putting money in my, you know, not 401k, but an IRA, you know, Roth.
Yeah.
And so I just still do, like, not a ton.
Oh, yeah, I do that too. Like
Yeah.
every year at the end of the year too, if we give all the numbers to our tax person, and she goes, "All right, Jay, put this much in your retirement, and then it'll lower your tax bill by this much." So I just wait till she tells me the number, and then I always have a lot of good chunk of money waiting around that time of year, and I move that into my retirement. So A, it lowers my tax bill, and B, it just adds to a nicer retirement.
Yeah, and I wish I'd known. That's what one thing I'm trying to teach my boys more now is like I wish I had known more about the stock market. I didn't learn really a whole lot about it until I was in college, and I was like, man, I could have started sooner. You know, I didn't. I always thought I had to have this chunk of money to start. I'm like, no, man, I could
See,
have.
that's what I used to teach you in high school. We don't really need algebra. But we
Yeah.
do need real life lessons: how to balance a checkbook, how to invest some money. Those are the things they should be teaching you.
Yeah, so my boys have a gumball machine at the local coffee shop, and the lady, she's a great in our community, but when they came in to ask her, she was like, where's your business proposal? You had to go home and write a business proposal, and I thought it was amazing, you know, so they know every time they empty it, there's a percentage that goes here, a percentage here, a percentage here.
Cool, that's
You know?
awesome.
Yeah. And then Nadine asked, oh, wait, where'd it go? What was the gift that Robin sent you back, Jay?
So most of my friends know me as Big Girl. Even though I look like a big gruff guy, I am a Big Girl. I like the Spice Girls. My toenails are painted this color, actually, sparkles. I have a candle closet organized by season. So Robin coined the term girl man friend. So she sent me a T-shirt with sparkles that say Robin's best girl man friend the other day.
Aww.
So my female friends have started to call me their girl man friend.
I love it. I love it. Oh, tell them what your a-hole shirt stands for in case they don't know.
Well, you know, anytime you are shamed, like fat shamed or bald shamed, you know, if you can take it back from the people shaming you and you just kind of own it. So there are a few people in our circles that don't like me, and they tend to call me an asshole quite a bit. So I took it back. So I'm a-hole, always helping others learn eBay.
That's awesome. It's like Tyrion Lannister.
Yep.
Right? You got to own that. If you own it, I was watching the first episode of Game of Thrones over again, and he kept calling Jon a bastard, and he was getting pissed, and he was like, if you own it, they can't hurt you with it anymore, you know?
Yeah, I own it, and guess what? They're just going away because once you own it, what can they say? Like, geez,
Yeah.
if he's calling himself that.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But I turned it into something positive, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Next question. How old were you when you realized that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny wait. I think I merged two questions together that didn't belong. Here's what I wrote. How long were you when you realized Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny probably never actually knew each other in real life? I don't know what I was drinking that night.
So I took it as how old were you when you realized they weren't real?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So this will probably be a surprise to my mother, but sorry, Mom. I knew very young because I was a nosy kid, and I used to find already wrapped presents in my mom's closet like 2 weeks before Christmas that said, "To Jason from Santa." So
Oh,
I knew because I was nosy at an early age.
see, Santa never wrapped presents at our house. Like,
Oh, see, Santa wrapped presents at our house.
so the presents that were wrapped were from the family, and then Santa's presents came like all assembled and ready and just sitting out. So
So sorry, Mom.
I don't know how that's. I mean, my boys get like a lot of Legos from Santa, but we don't assemble them. That's for sure. All right, do I have any more reseller questions up here that I was going to ask you? What's the most unexpected thing about reselling that you would find?
Kind of back to what I was talking about, where it led me. Like when I decided to do it full time 9 years ago, not in my wildest dreams that I would think I would have my own TV show, that I would lead these huge Facebook groups, that I would meet all these wonderful people, that I would speak all over the country. Had no clue. Like to me, it was just a way to earn money and not have a boss peering over my shoulder. So I never, never in my wildest dreams did I think it would lead to me being on TV.
I think that's so fun, though. I mean, I know there were ups and downs with it, but
Oh,
that's like,
but the finished product and the joy, like I have fans, even though I've been off the air for 16 months now, we still repeat around the world, and so I get fan mail and people see me. We were just at an all-day rockabilly concert with my mom a couple of weeks ago, and this guy was wearing this awesome Hawaii jacket. And my mom started talking to him about it. He kind of realized I was with my mom, and we were in a group of people, and he said, and he was from Denmark, and he said, "Your son looks a lot like that guy from the TV show." And I said, "Well, it's because I am that guy from the TV show." And he was kind of drunk, and he was so happy to meet me, and he lost his mind. He was bringing his girlfriend over. Remember the guy I was telling you about? This is him.
oh, that's cool.
So that part of it still brings smiles to my face. Like I love that just because someone saw me, it made them smile and they want to say hi. So I totally enjoy every part of that bit of the TV biz.
I've never had anybody recognize me in public. But I don't have I don't have as big of an audience. But I was at Goodwill with Tanya, and somebody recognized her. So that was cool.
Get out. Do you recognize her and not you?
Yeah.
That just blows my mind.
That's okay, though. I was very happy. I was very happy. Yeah. She was in our group. I think maybe she saw Tanya, and then Tanya brought me over. So anyway, it was cool. It was cool. What? Oh, now I've lost my. There was another question up here about buy it now. Like, what time of day do you?
Oh, who cares? Buy it now. Just
put it
when my assistant lists, every assistant, I check it before they go live. Whenever she's like, "Okay, I got a group," I give them a quick once over, look at the title and the price, and once it's good, I just send it. So it doesn't matter. Plus, I ship around the world, so time is irrelevant. 9 o'clock p.m. here is 10 a.m. someplace else, so time doesn't really matter anymore.
You're like the doctor. The doctor. Okay, Jason. What tiki-themed art, decor, and non-mugged dinner and barware brands and artists to bolo for? You mentioned those Sears prints before.
Yeah, I just answered her in the chat. That is way too long of an answer. That's like saying, "Tell me everything good about Tiki." Like, what are the best? What are the best collectible automobiles to buy? Yeah, that is not a quick answer. I mean, there's so many artists, so many brands. But we talk about it quite a bit in the thrifting board. So if you're not in the thrifting board, come on over, because I always share. Oh, plus I always share it, and a lot of people find things, so you learn you learn from what they find, and I explain if it's good or bad. And but just off the top of my head, two modern brands are. I was doing so good too. Two modern brands are Tiki Farm and Monk Tiki, and then God dang it. Am I back, Margaret?
I think you're back.
Okay.
Really good.
But vintage stuff, Orchids of Hawaii, Otagiri Mercantile Company, which often you will see a sticker that just says OMC, Otagiri Mercantile Company. Those are all good mug makers. You know, some mugs are worth $2 and some are worth over $1,000. So, you know, it's one of those, and the artists, we could talk for 4 hours and not even touch all of them. So, yeah, I'd love to answer that question, but that's way too involved.
That's awesome, though. And I had a question. I forgot what I was going to ask you now. Otagiri, are they related to the other Otagiri mugs or no?
Same company. They just happen to make a lot of tiki stuff.
Different stuff too. Okay, cool. That's cool to know. Okay, next question. So you have awesome parents who are very involved, which is awesome and great. But if you had to pick 2 celebrities to be your parents, who would you pick?
All right, so I have a visual for this because most people won't know either of these people. But once you hear who they are, you will fully understand why I would say these are my parents. But yeah, you're right, my parents do rock. All right, so on the left, the guy in the awesome hat, shirtless with the awesome necklaces, that is Don the Beachcomber. And then the lady on the right is Hilo Hattie. So Don the Beachcomber was originally named Ernest Raymond Beaumont Gant, and he was a part-time bootlegger and actual beachcomber, and he opened the first tiki bar in Hollywood in 1939. So everything tiki stems right to that man.
Cool.
And he was kind of a scallywag, and he was an awesome dude.
No.
And so, I mean, he's the one that said, we're going to use rum because rum is so very cheap. And we'll put some juices with it. We'll make the rum not taste so bad. Rum's much better nowadays, but he's the man that started it all. And then Hilo Hattie on the right, she was, when you thought of Hawaii and tourism back in the 50s and 60s, and one of the images that came to mind was Hilo Hattie. She was a performer, a singer, a hula dancer, a comedian, an entertainer. They named the Hilo Hattie's stores brand after her. And so this would be my ideal parental units besides Peggy and Regan.
Cool.
And then I had one more picture of Don because he was the man. He always had great hats, great necklaces, and every picture is like this with people just having the best time at his tiki place. You can tell everyone in that picture is just smashed.
Yeah. They're having so much fun.
So, you know, I thought long and hard, and I was coming up with wrong answers, and Stacy's like, you know, Don the Beachcomber or Sailor Jerry. I'm like, oh, I could do my 2 dads, Don the Beachcomber and Sailor Jerry.
Are you sure you want him to be your dad, or you want to be him?
Well, you know, I think if he would have been my dad, it would have led to Don the Beachcomber Jr.
Right. Okay, let me see. Yes, Thrift Board is on Facebook. Someone says Thrifting Board is on Facebook. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I remember what I was going to say before too. Like you were saying, you know, people could learn by watching, you know, people posting stuff in the group about tiki and stuff like that, just from finding stuff and watching. And that's one of the reasons I watch so many videos. I watch tons of YouTube videos because I figure I can pick up one little gem. So when I'm out looking, I have, you know, all this awesome information. Anyway, okay.
Now, there's your tip for tiki stuff, though. You find anything from Don the Beachcomber, mugs, menus, anything. They're all worth money, and some worth a ton more than others. So because of that question, there's your little extra tiki tip.
Oh, my gosh. We only have 10 minutes left, Jason. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the rapid fire now.
All right, let's do it.
These are ones that Jason did not get in advance.
Uh-oh.
So. All right, I'll start you off easy.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Teen Titans or Powerpuff Girls?
I don't know either. I mean, I know who they are, but I've never watched either, so I really have no answer.
Okay. Jazz Hands or The Running Man?
Oh, Jazz Hands for sure.
Okay. Hair of the Dog or A Greasy Fry-Up?
Hair of the dog. Probably both, but yeah, hair of the dog fixes it right away.
Okay, hard or soft?
Oh, always
And
go hard.
this could be eggs, your bed,
Yeah,
candy, water. Hard.
always go hard.
Okay, okay. Limericks or a knock knock?
Knock knock.
Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
Little old lady.
Little lady who?
I didn't know you could yodel.
Ba-doom-tsh.
The limerick was really dirty, so I'm kind of.
Oh, okay, I'll change my answer. Limerick. There was a man, old man from Nantucket.
If you've got kids in the room, it might be time to mute this. It's not too bad. There were some really bad ones.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there once was a man from Madras whose balls were constructed of brass. When they jangled together, they played stormy weather, and lightning shot out of his ass. Okay, okay.
Dirty girl, you.
What's your favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? That's a good question. I gotta say Christmas, and that's definitely due to my mother. She decorates for every holiday, including the lesser ones, and our house was always fully top to bottom decorated. I remember listening to Ray Conniff Christmas albums when we would decorate. So I've always had that. Like I still listen to Ray Conniff every year at Christmas around here too. But I always make Stacy. She's not big into Christmas as I am, probably because she's Jewish. But I make her. We walk the strip and see all the Christmas lights and the skating rinks every year. So Christmas for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Italian sausage.
Hard. And then favorite doctor, or if you're a Doctor Who fan.
Oh, I've never seen Doctor Who either.
Wow. Sorry.
See, I was gonna say Seuss or Dre.
You could. Why not?
All right, it's a tie. Dr. Seuss and Dr. Dre.
Awesome.
Two of the most opposites.
Okay, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I as an interviewer?
You are a 10 because that was the reason. Kind of going back to what I said at the beginning. When I watched your first video and you asked if you could post it, sometimes I get videos that are just horrible, and I gotta tell people no. And yours, yay.
I think you're better.
I'll wait. All right.
I think you're back.
You know, when I watched your first video and you had your little bloopers at the end, you made me smile. And some videos I have to watch and people want to share are just horrible. Horrible content, horrible delivery, and I got to say no, and I hate saying no, but I don't ever want to put out bad content. But as soon as I saw yours, you had good content, and you were a ton of fun. And so I always love that about you. You are just one of the silliest, quirkiest humans I know, and I love you for that.
I appreciate it. Somebody, obviously new to my channel, watched one of my older videos and was like, you have good videos, but you need to stop making all those childish faces. I'm like, you must be new.
Yeah.
Welcome to my channel. Do you have any questions for me? Because, oh gosh, are in the chat? Because I've run out of questions. I can't believe it. I can go find more.
When's the last time you were hammered?
Now. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I love that answer.
When last time? Oh gosh. I don't know. I mean, like, I'll have a glass of wine or two, but hammered?
Yeah, where you were standing at the bar going, woo!
Oh. It was probably college. It was probably
Really?
just after.
You've been hammered in that long?
I mean, because I do, like, you know, I know me. That's the problem, because that would be me.
You need to come hang out in Vegas, and we'll let your guard down.
Are you going to hold my hair when I puke?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I held Chris's hair when he puked, so what the heck?
Oh, gosh. No, I am not drunk, Steve. I was joking. Oh, okay. Let's see. Any more questions in the chat? Oh gosh, I thought.
So the one question you skipped, I wanted to answer because where is it? What's the most unexpected thing about you that people don't know?
Oh, I missed that.
My first career and the guys are going to be like, "Get out." My job was to size cheerleaders for their uniforms.
What?
So my job was to look at how big a girl's boobs were, look how much a curve of their ass was, and then give them something to try on.
How'd you get that job?
My mom, she worked for the company for like 25 years. It was the number one manufacturer of cheerleading uniforms in the world, Varsity Spirit Fashions. And when guys hear this, they're like, "Whoa, why'd you quit that job?" Here's what people envision me doing like the Lakers girls. Now, what they're not envisioning is doing squads of 12-year-old girls who haven't discovered deodorant yet.
Oh, no, that's different. Yeah. No, that's right.
So sorry I got a frog in my throat today, by the way.
No, oh, yeah.
But it was a fun job. It was just too much driving at the time. I didn't live in my territory, so it took forever to get to my territory and back. And this was before computers, so everything was triplicate.
Oh, yeah.
And but one day I got a job at a record store and turned into a management position. So I left that behind, but I did that for 5 years. And I would get some surprised faces when I showed up. They'd be like, "You're a man." I go, "I know, you made the appointment with me." "Oh, I just thought you were the secretary or something." "Nope, I'm your sales rep for your community."
Okay, how about this? I'll ask you the question I asked Chris. Here we go. Not Chris Dupree. I asked him at the end, I said, which would you rather fight? Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck?
Horse-sized duck, okay.
Or 30 duck-sized horses?
30 duck-sized horses. I would say a horse-sized duck. That way there's only one mouth I got to watch out for.
That's probably wise.
It'll be a big mouth. It's probably going to swallow me, but if I can fend that off, I'm okay. Also, I got 30 little horses nipping at my feet. Oh, no way.
Okay, I don't have any more questions.
Talk about a question out of left field. That was crazy. See, that's why I love you. I would have never asked that question to anybody because that would never have crossed my mind.
Anyway, I won't go into that. Look, there goes. Okay, there goes the umbrella. You know what that means.
Yeah, she's really drunk. The umbrella's flying off, you know.
Do you have any announcements you want to make? How about that?
Sure, yeah. We talked about the thrifting board. That is my Facebook group, so come on over. Ask to join. I'll put you right in. I do a YouTube show with my good friend Nadine on Thursday nights called Thrifty Business with Jay and... Now it freezes. I'm in the middle of a commercial. Thrifty Business with Jay and A on Thursday nights on YouTube. And this week our guest is in the chat right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Rake Profits is in the chat. He'll be our... He'll be our guest on Thursday, but then the big announcement is I'm doing a Thriftapalooza. I am doing a road trip starting in Philadelphia on June 4th and working my way to Port Huron, Michigan, right above Detroit on June 11th or 12th. So I'm having Nadine and I are teaching a class in Philadelphia, then I'm teaching a class in Pittsburgh, then Cleveland, then I'll be in Port Huron speaking, then the next day I'll be in Detroit teaching a class, and then the Saturday I'll be in Port Huron at the community garage sale, kind of leading a class around the community garage sale. So if you're in any of those areas and you want to come attend a class, or Nadine and I are doing our 1-year anniversary show live from a thrift store, which is going to be awesomely fun. Best thrift store in the country is called Philly AIDS Thrift, and great characters who shop there, and we're going to be doing it live from the used furniture section, so that should be a ton of fun. So if you're in the Philadelphia area and you don't want to attend a class, but you want to come sit in the audience, and all that information is in the thrifting board. I will have a post for each stop along the way, and then there'll be in between stops, like, hanging out at a tiki bar, having some cocktails. So we can do that too.
And I love some of the stories I hear from Nadine out of that thrift store.
Oh yeah, it is the greatest thrift store in the country. Not that I've been to all of them, but the store itself is its own character. Whereas you go to a Savers or Goodwill, it's just a Savers or Goodwill, and this is more of a mom and pop, but it's a big one. It's 2 stories. Feels like it's actually a house. It's long, it's deep, it's rooms of media, rooms of wedding gowns. I mean, just it's this crazy place, and the eclectic clientele make it fun. The staff is always really great, and so they're super excited to have us do the show live from their store. So it'll be awesome.
Yay! Well, thank you for coming on. And
thank you for having me.
yeah, and if you guys don't follow me on Texas Gal Treasures, wait, you're on my channel, and I have a Facebook group that I'm with a couple other ladies called the International League of Thrifters. We have challenges every week and lots of fun. And what else? Oh, and I have a giveaway going on. It's somewhere in my channel. Maybe I'll drop a link, but it's also on my website, texasgaltreasures.com. So check it out. And that's
Check it out. And hey, make sure you give Margaret a thumbs up down below and subscribe to her too, over here and over here.
Somewhere. And I will have another guest interview coming up in a week or two. It's going to change time, so I'll let everybody know. But I've asked Cauldron of Collectibles, who also has a YouTube channel, and they're in my area, so they have agreed to do an interview with me next. So yay!
Yay!
Okay. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I think we had like 69 viewers at one point.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Ta-ta.